should be live. Let me just turn off the mic over here. So we don't double the audio. Very good. Yeah.
Grateful. Well, it's all that white wine you're drinking.
He's preserved.
Yeah. He's basically
might not be the right mic
himself.
selection. Hang on. Hang on a second. There we go. No,
Hey,
I got it.
Howdy,
That's
howdy,
it.
howdy.
All right.
Good evening.
All right, so that should fix everything. We're hearing a bit of. Hang on one second. Let me try something. Blah 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 blah. Blah blah. No, we're still hearing a little bit of a background thing here. Let's see. And Sarah, you're using headphones, not computer audio, right?
Right.
Okay. All right. Well, we let's get this going here.
I'm hearing it.
You're hearing it too. I don't know
Yeah,
what that is.
Do you want me to try to go back to my computer?
Yeah, maybe so. Why don't we try
Okay.
that and see if that eliminates the problem?
Okay.
Since the echo should be the outward audio source is probably on her end, but we're not
Yeah.
on the outside.
Forgive us, guys. We're just doing a little thing so you don't hear us double the entire stream.
Let's see. Okay.
No,
I
I
saw
have
people going nuts about it. December
It's
1st.
okay.
man.
Bringing it back to the
I was going to say, McCrae was talking about it with me on Saturday, and I didn't realize he was such a guy.
Dude, that was our first thought from the first night. We were talking about that's one of the differences if we like the CGI versus the SUDAC. What's our conversation?
Hold on. What?
Okay, I'm gonna try to call you guys again.
Last one's so hooked with the shin, right?
Okay.
Should I try? Should I?
Well, hang on one second. Not yet. Let me try something here. Hang on one second.
Even they had a variation.
Okay.
Because I eliminated you from the stream and I still hear the audio, so it might be through Skype. One second.
Okay.
Talk, talk, talk. You still hear us?
So final listeners is 2000.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and disconnect and recall from the computer.
Is that where you killed the...
Okay. Okay, I'll disconnect.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, check, check, check. Hello, hello, hello. No, we're still hearing the echo. One of the... Is that mic on?
Yeah, he said the mic. If it has a mic and it's on, it might be produced.
Talk into it and see if it... I don't think that's it. We use that takes that all the time. And the mic's not plugged in. That's this thing. So, hang on.
Computer, camera on?
Hang on. Check, check, check. Check, check, check. Well, no, I just killed our audio output, so that's not going to work. Check, check, check. Well, I'm trying to think what it could be here. Hang on.
Are we getting a delay or a doubling?
It's a doubling.
It's just on our side now from the mic computer, at least.
It's not on the actual stream?
Oh, I don't have audio on for that. I was about to share it, and I was waiting to see if we were going to have to like start a new one or whatever.
There's a feedback from a microphone being amplified by the speakers. You should try to move the microphone further away from
I don't hear it. It's not doubled on the audio for this.
If it's just on our end, that should be okay. If it's not, then let me try to...
No,
Are you guys hearing an audio echo on our end? Y'all sound good on my end. Okay, alright, well, maybe this is just...
Bear through it.
Yeah, we'll deal with it, but as long as you guys aren't hearing it, then that's fine. Alright, let me get Sarah back on, and we'll do this.
Making something cool.
Well, alright. Let's wait a second to get her back on. I just really don't know what the hell. It's not this.
Did you guys?
No, it's not in there.
I have not had a time for it, unfortunately. I know they just did that season finale.
It starts that time it gets better, and then the grandma just wakes up.
That was the vibe I got from the animation, but
It's just pretty dark. You got a wizard eating people, every soul in his parents.
Just to make sure, no one else is hearing a doubling or anything, right? Everyone's hearing us okay? No doubling, no echoing?
The mug line and everything.
Well, apparently, if you eat a mug like, keep getting it down.
Eventually turning into.
Oh, God. What a great leaf. Record by M.
Keep trying.
Wild Wrangler says I hear an echo.
Oh, you do hear an echo, okay.
This is a horror movie.
She's like broadcasting from a horror movie.
Yes, I hate to tell you, if you want to go back to the phone, that's fine. It's not on your end, it's on our end. So if that's easier for you, because we still can't hear you on this, if you can get this mic to work, we can use this, but right now we can't hear you. But we could hear you on the other thing.
She's showing up on the channel. Oh, yeah, put her on.
No, I haven't put her on here. This is how we do every stream. Like, I don't understand. Hang on, let me just double check something here.
Does that switch on your thing make the phone
Hang on one
volume or
second.
the gaming?
I might have just figured it out. Hang on. Okay, I know what it's doing. Okay. Fuck this stupid system.
Is your default microphone going to the computer?
His Skype call. Skype call. He's picking up the audio.
No, but it's not that though, because the Skype isn't involved in this, right?
But Skype's still your audio program, your audio output, and input.
It is, but that doesn't matter. That's how I've done live streams for years. There's just something going on here. Default speakers, maybe that's the issue.
It's like looking at car issues, like 20,000 different things.
Microphone system sound should be. Check. No. How the fuck? Like that's what's correct here. Check. Can everyone still hear us, or did I just mute us? Because that might have just undone the output. Can anyone hear us? Hello? Did that eliminate the audio doubling?
I'm not hearing anything. I'm just hearing you. Nothing in the headphones.
I'm still hearing an echo.
Wait, yeah, but it's still not. You wouldn't have caught up yet. So wait till I start saying this.
Okay.
Checkity check.
Sound.
Can you still hear us? But with no audio.
We're good.
Okay, cool.
We're clear on my end from what I'm hearing.
All right, I think that was it.
All right.
It's gone.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We're good.
Got it.
And
Jeez.
All right, now we need to
Please.
get Sarah back in here. So Sarah, we still can't hear you. If you want to go back to your phone, we could hear you on your phone. We've eliminated the audio on our end. Yeah, so just go back to your phone if that's okay. Okay, thank you.
Goddamn technology. Right?
All right, sorry guys.
Holy
That's so
shit.
weird that I had to literally mute the audio on our end. But hey, at least everyone can hear us, so that's good. So we'll call her back on her phone, and then we'll get this party started.
Anyways.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes. There she is. All right. Fantastic.
Yay, I'm glad you guys can hear me. Is it echoey or weird?
No, the echo was on our end, so apologies for the confusion, but let me get
That's
There we go. Now I know to mute yours there as well, and we can hear you through Skype, so this will be great. Fantastic.
Yay. Thank you guys.
Of course. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, I'm honored. I'm honored to be here, always.
All right, cool. So let's let me get the right windows up and on the forefront. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Bring that up. Over. This under. Or just keep it over here, and then bring this up here. There we go. That works. All right, so I'm gonna adjust your window just slightly so it fits a little better.
Okay.
And almost there.
No worries.
There we go. Fantabuloso. Now we're
Yay.
Let's get it on.
All right, so here we go. Hey everyone, welcome to the horror show. I'm Cecil Laird.
Rob Wolfman.
I'm Mahallo.
I mean, Fuego here.
Jason Greer.
Produce Dave.
And we are joined today by none other than Sarah Schultz, who has been on the channel before. Welcome back, Sarah.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy to be back. I love you guys.
So Sarah actually was nice enough to be a part of Dylan's New Nightmare, along with, you know, everyone in this room had something to do with Dylan's New Nightmare, at least behind the scenes and more. So we wanted to go ahead and do, for this stream today, sort of a debrief of Mad Monster Arizona 2023, because that is where we did our advanced screening of Dylan's New Nightmare. There's still going to be a couple of little tweaks after the screening. We do anticipate releasing the film late August. That's the current plan. There's really only one thing that might alter that plan, but until that happens, that is the plan. We are going to be doing another showing at the Terror Trader Gathering of Ghouls on August 26th. It is a 2-day event, the 26th and the 27th. It's a cool horror convention at the Mesa Convention Center out here in Arizona. If anyone wants to give it a try, they should definitely go check it out. But we wanted to discuss Mad Monster. We always do a breakdown after the Mad Monster event, because Mad Monster has been an event near and dear to the horror show heart for a long time, and possibly even nearer and dearer to Sarah's heart, because literally Sarah and her husband Josh, who has also had a big presence on the channel in the form of 2 different songs at this point. One song specifically for Dylan's New Nightmare, and another song called Welcome to the Horror Show, as well as being the man behind the scenes footage that you guys are going to eventually see from Dylan's New Nightmare. And you guys have your own little fairy tale because of Mad Monster, correct?
Yes, we do. It's a spooky tale.
Well, why is it so near and dear to your guys' hearts then, if you don't mind just briefly telling the story?
Yeah, of course. So back in 2017, my husband and I got married by Sid Haig. I know. And full Captain Spaulding gear, character. Oh my God, makeup was great. Megan Grant did his makeup. And so he married us and brought us into unholy matrimony, to say. So yeah, that's a big deal. I mean, that's like something so special we'll never forget. And then I also won the Miss Arizona pageant that weekend as well. It was one of the last
double down.
pageants. Yeah, it was a pretty good weekend. So yeah, there's a lot of special memories with Mad Monster.
All right, guys. I see your comments. I just raised us up, so hopefully we're on an equal level, and you can bring us all down in your own ears. Hopefully that works for you guys. But yeah, thank you for joining us, Sarah, because I know, obviously, not just because of that, but because you guys have been longtime attendees of Mad Monster and occasional vendors at Mad Monster. I'll still remember when you guys were vending the same year that we did, that Josh brought out his hot sauce, and we were all doing chips with a little dab of his hot sauce.
Memories.
So fun.
The memories. Oh my gosh.
Painful ones for me, but hey, delightful nonetheless.
Oh my God, you were such a trooper when you tried that hot sauce.
Trooper
You
does
had
kind of
so
sound
much
like
of it.
stupor, as in stupid. You know, but
Wait, didn't you take a shot of it at one point? Or-
well, we've had a few instances,
few instances,
as my body has, with the deliciousness going, and then
alcohol at
everything
some
else.
point.
So,
He is
Jaime and Fuego.
yeah.
But yeah, so we wanted to talk about the convention, and then of course talk about the screening of Dylan's New Nightmare. Now, I did do a bit of a debrief over on Dave McCrae's channel a number of days ago, so if you guys haven't watched that, feel free to go check that out.
It's very comprehensive. I listened to the whole thing when I was working. I was like, damn, it's still going.
Yeah. Well, Dave goes for a while. But yeah, so I just thought we'd talk about it. We could answer some questions from you guys. Sound is fine now. Thank you, Evil Alex. Appreciate that. But yeah, if you guys have any questions about the event, about the movie that we can answer non-spoilery, about the Q&A or anything like that, about anyone's particular role, just let us know in the comments down below. So just so everyone knows, so you know who's sitting here, Robert did a lot of stuff behind the scenes leading up to Mad Monster, as well as he was the craft services guru and the cook for the entire event, along with doing some, production assistant stuff, helping out on set and things like that. So that's Robert's duty on the film. Mahallo did both slate and transportation, as well as creating, with Fuego, creating 2 songs for the film. One of which I think is going to get a particular amount of attention, which I think bared out with the one screening. The very first question we took after the screening was about that song. So I do think that there's a lot of attention coming their way. So that's, and then Fuego, of course, helped out on set for when he could. Of course, he had his school and stuff,
work and everything took some precedence.
But between that and the song, he was definitely involved. Jason was our script supervisor and continuity guru for the entire thing, as well as he was the lead editor on the music video that we are putting together. That's going to be dropping relatively soon if we can. And then producer Dave was, of course, producer, and he was essentially second assistant director. Both he and Vin were helping me out with various duties throughout the project. So, and then Sarah got to actually have a role in the film, and she knocked it out of the park. Did a great job as someone that you guys will see. We don't want to necessarily ruin it ahead of time, but that is everyone's role and involvement with the film. And so if any of you have any questions regarding any of that, let us know. But I just want to sort of start across the board and get everyone's reaction to Mad Monster as a whole, and then we'll eventually drill down to the event in and of itself. So what's that?
Deeper into the hole.
Exactly. So Sarah, let's start with you ladies first. What was your thoughts about what were your thoughts about Mad Monster Arizona 2023?
It was fantastic. Honestly, it was one of the best weekends I've had with Mad Monster. It was so busy. There were so many people there. It was a great turnout. That was super exciting. Richard Brake was there.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's so awesome. Like, I love that man.
I had a great interaction with him too. Like, he was just an awesome dude.
Yeah, he's a character. And I saw some of the photos even that Josh took with him and stuff.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. So we had a photo op with him, and the first thing I do, I pull up my sleeve and I'm like, oh my God, you shared my tattoo a few years ago on Instagram. Do you remember me? And he took his glasses out of his pocket, put them on, and he's like, yes. And then he just pulls out his phone. I'm like, oh my God, I'm taking a selfie with you. literally died right there. I'm like, oh my God. And then he put it on Instagram like a couple days later, and I'm like, oh my heart, like you're my favorite. But it was just an amazing weekend. We loved seeing you guys. The table setup was amazing. Everything was so great. Mad Monster was just kicking ass this year. It was great.
Yeah, it was really huge. It seems like it. You know, I love it used to be, right, that Sunday was a pretty chill day at Mad Monster. Like that's when we would interview everyone, and even earlier on we could interview them Friday and Saturday too, because Mad Monster was still growing. It's at the point now where it's in a huge room, and it's bigger than that because Robert was in a separate room, and then all the tattoo artists are out in the hallway and stuff, so it's bigger than this huge room. But I love the fact that it's still, as big as it's gotten, it's still probably the most intimate show of any of them, in so much as all the celebrities are on the outskirts and you can literally just walk right up to them on the same floor as the vendors. They're not like separated by a curtain or by a floor or by room walls, except for Robert and Rain. Well, no, Rain was actually on the main floor.
I didn't even get the chance to see him on Sunday.
Yeah, Rain was right next to Cassandra.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, Robert was in a whole nother room the entire time. So I know they have to do that for crowd control purposes. Otherwise, Robert's line dominates the floor.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's cool to see how big it's gotten. I have grown to the point where, like, we have so much cool shit from throughout the years at Mad Monster that I don't really get tempted by a lot anymore. Like, it has to be a really unique item for me to want to spend money on it.
Yeah.
Plus, this year I was obviously just way more focused on the Dylan's New Nightmare of it all.
You had to be.
But yeah, I thought Mad Monster as a whole was awesome yet again this year.
Yep.
Shout out to Evan and Kevin and Chris for putting on a fantastic show every single
Evan
year.
was there. I wasn't sure if I was going to see
Yeah,
him.
it was great to
He's
see Evan again.
taken some breaks from the Arizona, and like iterations of it, at least in the last few years. And obviously, the pandemic, we saw how they struggled through and still did events. And so this was where it was like back to form in just about every way, bigger and better than pretty much ever, in my estimation. One of the best guest lists they've ever had.
Definitely.
Saw Dylan McDermott there. I'm like, what? Okay.
I know.
He looked mad he didn't have a bigger line. I thought it was kind of funny.
I wrestled with having Dylan sign the shirt, but ultimately I was like, he's not a horror icon.
Yeah.
Like, he's a constant in American Horror Story, but that's it. And
He has
he's
the Tales from the Crypt
he's the
episode. I
dude
mentioned that
that's
to him when I saw
haunted.
him.
You know, he's not the guy necessarily.
Right.
So that's the only reason why I didn't have Damien ultimately sign it either. I was wondering, I was like, maybe I should, because he's a director that's making big moves and stuff,
Yeah,
but
it should-
it is
seriously,
meant
you
to
saw
be
his
the
line
icon
with
shirt,
David
right?
there.
So I don't know. Maybe eventually I'll get Damien anyway, but like, I got 6 new signatures on the shirt this year.
Who were
So
they?
we got Richard Brake.
Okay.
We got John Carroll Lynch, who was Twisty the Clown in American Horror Story, my very first horror
I
cosplay.
remember very
My
well.
very first cosplay, period.
Yes.
I think that's
That video's
Yeah,
really
you
good.
did from FearCon,
Yeah,
right?
And so is that still the most watched video on the channel? Or
Oh
has it
yeah,
been
the
surpassed
Twisty
by
the Clown
something?
is
Yeah,
still our
yeah,
most
yeah.
watched video. It's at like 1.8 or 1.6 million
It's the
views
best
or
short
something.
film I've ever made.
Wow.
And that was just walking around the con, like following
me telling
Twisty.
you just like come around the corner here.
Yeah.
Oh, but the
Was
music
that?
that
I didn't even
accompanied
remember it was
it,
you behind the
too.
camera, but that
I
makes
did
sense.
The whole
Yeah.
thing with the Star Wars.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yep. And then we got Richard Brake, John Carroll Lynch. I had Douglas Tate signed it, and there's some interesting conversations happening with Doug Tate. I will say I haven't filled everyone in on that yet, but Dave knows about it and Robert knows about it. But yeah, some interesting goings on. I'm very glad I met Doug Tate at Mad Monster. Let me
I'm
just
just
say.
gonna spoil it for everybody. Cecil's got a awesome treehouse horror film, and he's gonna play the tree.
He's gonna play tree. Very close. Very close. Cecil does
Gonna
have a
start
very
that rumor.
awesome script, and Doug
Basically
Tate
a
did
tree.
express interest,
He just plays the tree.
and so much so that he might have requested a script. Like, I got an Instagram message after the event, out of nowhere,
So it's not going to be
he's
a
like,
Vin Diesel and Groot situation, hopefully.
It's basically, yeah. Basically, I talked to Doug Tate very briefly. Doug Tate, if you guys didn't know, he played Jason in Freddy vs. Jason.
Yeah.
He played Michael Myers for a scene in Halloween Kills. He's been a creature in a number of movies. He was in Knights of Badassdom as the big creature at the end of the film.
Sasquatch for Jack Links, dude.
Oh, yeah. Yes, he's Sasquatch in the Jack Links commercials.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. But I talked to him about an idea that I've been developing for a very long time, and he reached out and he's like, "Hey, I just wanted to reach out. Let me know if anything happens with that." And I was like, "Oh, thanks for hearing me out. You know, I'm sure people tell you ideas all the time." And he said, he was like, "Yeah, they tell me all the time." He's like, "But none." He's like, "Yeah, I get ideas all the time, but none as interesting as yours." So I was like, "Sweet, all right, cool."
Well, we've seen what can happen from pitches at Mad Monster.
I know, that's the crazy thing. Like, if that happened too, and also that started at Mad Monster, but it's like the logical next step of what might happen from Dylan's New Nightmare, which also happened because of Mad Monster. Like, it's a really... I love Mad Monster for so many different reasons, and this is just one.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so I'm very excited about all that. So Mad Monster to me was fucking outstanding this year, once again. Yeah. I mean... the screening alone is its whole other thing, and that will always keep this as the top Mad Monster. But who wants to talk next about their initial thoughts?
I'll just roll it off. But no, this actually absolutely was the best Mad Monster we've ever had. Between the turnout and also too the people that came in from out of town to see the premiere, having them come up to the table,
just bought Friday tickets just to watch the premiere.
That was awesome. I loved hearing that and meeting everybody and stuff like that, but also too the turnout that we had in the theater was amazing. Like, everyone that came out, you guys are awesome. I know I've seen some of you guys in the chat.
Heavy Metal Beer Club.
Beer Club.
Who they'll get a kick out of this. The Heavy Metal Beer Club were following me around the entire of one of the days. No, we just kept bumping into each other, and they were like, "Why do we keep bumping into each other?"
But
you guys following me.
We ended up having a meal conflict when they were wanting to film something with us for their channel, and we ended with
that's awesome.
Well, we can always Skype and Zoom. I mean, look at we've got Sarah just right there on Skype, so we can do a Skype thing.
Let us know.
But yeah, shout out to Heavy Metal Beer Club. And just to answer Evil Alex's question, Robert Englund was at the show, but he did not make it to the premiere. You know, he's an older gentleman. He and Lance had some drinking to do, maybe, I don't know. But I was too focused on the premiere, which we'll get to all of that. But yeah, so Robert, you loved it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then also too, hearing everybody's responses afterwards. But just overall that weekend, even though obviously Friday was, we had to work.
Friday was the day.
Yeah, like we had to work, but it was still fun. It wasn't that overall stressful. It's like, oh God, like we still have this and this. No, everything worked out pretty damn good for that whole weekend. And then even so, after the premiere on Friday, obviously it went great. But Saturday and Sunday, having everyone come up to the table, talking about the movie, and then seeing Dave being talked to. But actually, one highlight I would say from Friday, or was it? No, it was Saturday actually, that Dick Warlock came up and started talking with Dave McCrae after seeing him getting put in makeup from Friday for the premiere.
And on the previous day with Tom Atkins coming up and talking to him.
Tom Atkins came up
gushing, man.
Did a picture. You find the picture up on Dave's socials, I believe. But yeah, they're super cool like that, and just...
Well, and besides the screening, the photo op, which looks a little something like this.
Oh yeah, we got some sample stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to see that.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
they came out pretty good.
Photo op came out pretty fun.
And so that was awesome. Producer Vin in the suit, right?
Yep. That's Ghost Jason.
Of Never Hike Alone fame.
So yeah, cool.
Yeah, I'll pretty much wrap it up from there because we're going to touch back on stuff anyway.
We got a lot of
throw it
people
over to Mahallo.
Mahallo!
Dude, Mad Monster is awesome. When you walk in, hotel, it's awesome, cool. And then you go through, you see all the tattoo artists, and then you get to the monsters at the very end, man. And I'm getting there and seeing Nora. I spent a lot of time with Nora transporting.
Nora was so excited to see you.
Dude, I was so excited
to see her. Just like my boy Mahallo's coming.
Oh, she's so cool. I spent a lot of time working, transporting her back and forth, so there was a lot of time spent with her. So I was super stoked to see her. I was super stoked to see Miko again. I didn't want to disturb him too much because he was always talking to people. I was like, he's got to do his schmoozing, let him schmooze.
That's what I had to do too, man, because he had pretty much a steady line, especially Saturday. Like, he looked tired because it was just a constant flow. Go, go, go.
Well, everyone was up late on Friday, too.
Yeah.
I go to bed till 6 a.m. I loved it, and the premiere was just awesome. And nobody knew who I was or anything, but it was nice to sit down and then when the scene came on, featuring the song, to see people in front of me who have no idea, just being like, hang it better. And Susie's like, do you know that guy? I was like, I don't know anybody here. I don't know anybody here.
But they're jamming.
Yeah, it was the coolest, most humbling thing ever to experience. And I've never seen any piece of the movie, either in like edits or what you were working. I haven't seen anything. So this was my first time seeing it in its semi-finality. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, when we get there, I'm curious very much about what your thoughts were then, like overall.
Yeah.
So we'll yeah.
And also, was this your first Mad Monster, or had you jumped on a day before with us, like last year or anything previous?
Was it Mad Monster where we performed, or was that Fuego?
It was Fuego.
So this was my first Mad Monster.
Okay.
On a whole different level.
Yeah,
I mean, we love Fuego.
Yeah, FearCon's not very comparable.
Small scale.
The turnout for vendors this year at Mad Monster was insane.
Yeah.
Like, they were packed.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
It was cool. I spent a lot of money on a lot of different vendors.
Yeah.
Fuego, you kind of touched on your stuff.
Yeah, that's a good segue. Real quick though, I'm gonna take the headphones off.
He got
so
some
this
good.
Is a little bit better. So
Fuego's little haul.
This was a gift from Miko, right there, which I was surprised with. When I came back to the booth that day after moseying around.
Yeah, the last
first
day.
time.
Cool.
Yeah, Miko was nice enough to Fuego. Sometimes dead is better. Miko Hughes. So that was a really sweet gift. And then,
Well, because you said that you didn't have this print, right?
I don't. No. I
Yeah,
don't. And
because you
that's
were like, I
probably-
was eyeballing that print a little bit, and I was
also-
like, he basically was like, all right, well, we're packing up. He's like, anyone want anything? And I was like,
what more do you want from me?
I was like, Fuego would probably really appreciate that. He's like, yeah, okay. And then he just wrote that. I was like, oh, that's cool.
And then a buddy of mine I actually interviewed on the channel a number of years ago named Chess. He has, I always forget the name of his thing, so it's called Crypt Rotted Bones. And so he's an artist and he does prints and t-shirts and stuff like that. So I got a few things from him. So this joins his
you've got the Super
his
Slasher
Brothers collection. So that is a new version, which I guess he done it as a print previously, but now he had it available as a shirt.
Great.
He has a Slasher Brothers 2, which I believe is Chucky. He has Slasher 3, which is Freddy. And this one's a little tougher to see.
That's a great shirt.
I love that's my favorite.
Ashylvania. So it's a riff on the cover of the NES game, and it's turned into Army of
Castlevania
Darkness,
and
which is
Ash
rad.
versus Evil Dead.
And then he has this other mashup, which if you want to show, it's kind of a Mega Man
this is
thing.
great, a Mega Man fucking...
So with all kinds of different icons on there. So Chess does great stuff, man. He's based here in Arizona, down in Tucson.
Dude, that's
and
dope.
I always get to catch up with him.
I'd wear the hell out of those if I was small enough.
So, yeah, he has all kinds of sizes and such, but yeah, man, I had a blast. It was maybe the best guest list I think that they have ever had for this event, as far as just comprehensive from all kinds of iconic genres and franchises, but yet also lots of smaller names. I mean, Richard Brake is going to become a name with all the stuff he's been in, all the Rob Zombie things, and he's even great in a movie like The Last Tremors, where it's not a good movie, but he was still fun in it.
Yeah.
And, Bingo Hell and stuff. So seeing him there and talking to him a little bit on, I think it was Saturday when I briefly spoke with him, so that was cool. And yeah, I'm not going to get long-winded. Always amazing in Mad Monster.
Jason.
Yeah, so this was my second time at Mad Monster. Last year was the first time. I guess I have a cool story too. It's where I first met Cecil.
Last year is the reason that Jason became a part of Mad Monster. That interaction is the only reason I was like, cool to bring you on and everything.
Yeah, so obviously that's a cool story. We stood in line to meet Nev Campbell. But I was only there on Friday and Sunday. Obviously the premiere stuff is cool, and I know we'll get to that. But man, so my biggest thing though is I've waited a lot of years to meet Cassandra Peterson, so I got to meet her this year.
Nice, which
was a really nice interaction. But then I had a really nice interaction with Tom Atkins too.
Yeah.
So obviously we know him from all the things, Escape from New York and all that. But he was on one of my favorite shows as a kid, just like on one episode of Xena.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like the last in line. For that little block of whatever, so he wasn't busy. So he kind of told me the whole story of like, you know, how he got cast and going out to New Zealand and stuff like that. So we talked for like a good 5, 6, 7 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, really nice guy. So those were kind of the highlights, and just obviously being at the table and seeing everybody be so excited, and you know, and the other thing too is just reuniting with some of the crew and stuff like that we worked with in the cast. That was cool. It was like slumber. Yeah, it was like a
Summer
camp.
Yeah,
it was like summer
I
camp.
love that.
That's a great
And then you know, and so it's like a big, you know, it's always like a big excitement and you know, hugs and like how you been, and
That's
so,
the way Vince's sets are.
Yeah.
Like Dave and I know that from helping out on a couple of different things that he's done, but specifically the Disappear music video. We went up to Flagstaff to help them film that, and it's always the same. Like the crew is just like hugs, you know, oh, it's great to have it. And like the experience filming really set a bar for us, I feel like, because that rap party, everyone was like, yeah, and like Ben and a number of other people were like, Ben said very early on, he's like, this is the most positive set I've been on in a very long time. He's like, everyone is so excited, they have great attitudes. He's like, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. And he's like, because this is an awesome set. And I was like, sweet. Cool. Because that, I mean, it's just surrounding people with the right people, you know what I mean? And yeah, so not to shortchange your story at all, but yeah, last year we were both in line for Nev Campbell, and I didn't even realize until after you said you had supported the project, but I don't think you necessarily said I did the be on camera perk. Because I eventually saw, like, I can't remember how, but when eventually I saw your picture as like one of the people that we had to put on camera, I was like, oh shit, I didn't even realize that's where Jason supported us at the level, you know? So that it's really cool full circle, and you did a great job on set, and you did great editing the music video, and so I'm really glad, you know, that we were able to have that interaction and connection last
Mad
year.
Monster rocks. Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, Mad Monster.
So many
again,
connections.
we've gotten so much for this channel because of that convention,
Big time.
and I'm just never gonna not be able to acknowledge that, because why would I not want to acknowledge that? It's crazy. Like, they've done so much for us. Dave, what did you like about because you were there this whole weekend as well?
Yeah.
I thought he was asleep.
You've been to numerous Mad Monsters. What do you think about the evolution and
This
stuff?
is the first time I think I missed COVID years.
Okay.
Because this is the first time I've been at that new hotel.
Okay, that was like 2 years at that hotel so far. Yeah.
So that in itself, I feel like it finally legitimized the convention. I feel like it was always done in this sort of very echoey, large room that was really spread out in order to show, you know, to fill the space. And this time it felt like they were spilling out of the space they had. There was so much to see and do that the hotel really made that work for them. Having the suites, or whatever you call it, the conference rooms, like the breakout rooms, right along the aisle there, I think is really smart. So you're kind of making like a horseshoe loop, and going down the main aisle, and then going around the convention, then coming back up. So like that all felt better than all the other places. And to echo what everybody else said, like, they had a great lineup. They had people who you wouldn't normally think you'd be able to pay $25, $40, $50, whatever dollars to take a picture with and say hi to and get an autograph. And I think that made a big difference, because in the past I used to think, like, why is that person here? And then I'm like, okay, well, there are lots of people who would take that opportunity to meet and greet and get a photograph. So all of that was really well. I echo what everybody else said. The premiere went better than expected as far as turnout. I knew people were going to like it. I just was hoped that we would have lots of people come and see it. Since it was a late 11:30 before we started showing it, so people stuck around, and that was another great indication for me. It was nice seeing everybody again. From the crew that scattered to the wind after the production. And I think I still really enjoy hanging out with Miko and Dave and Cecil, like all of you guys. Like,
Hear the hesitation?
Like, I see you guys whenever I want.
Yeah.
There's a certain, like, you kind of, I can't remember who said the camp thing. Yeah. There's a certain bond you make with your fellow crew, or in this case, those two actors. That it's fun to, like, step back into production mode.
Well, like when
because that's my like favorite thing is production.
Yeah.
well,
So like
when
I get excited and my energy goes up and
Yeah, agreed.
when we were filming, we were literally living together for that entire week. So
Basically.
that camaraderie is gonna it's gonna happen, or fisticuffs.
The summer camp of it all, like, people don't really realize that about films. Like, it is, like, the summer camp is the most akin thing, where, like, you all go for a limited period of time.
one of you is really good at archery.
So it could start a fire just by looking
there's
at it.
always someone that's trying to get banged.
One of
like,
you is
you know.
posing as a woman when you actually have a weenie, and I mean,
But it's really cool. Like, that's the thing. Like, this is why I'm trying to, like, force our way into the profession, because it's so fun. Like, going to work doesn't feel like work. You're going, it's like what Kevin Smith says, you're going to make believe for a living. Make pretend for a living, rather. You go to make pretend for a living, and that's so fucking fun. And it's just a matter of making sure that the make pretend is of a certain caliber that other people will be entertained by it. And with as broad as you can be while making pretend, I think that's easy to do and fun. And you can set goals to make sure you achieve a certain level and things like that. But
The actual filming part is the best part. All the other shit is a job.
all the other stuff is it's a job. Well, but when it all comes out, it's just the icing.
Yeah.
Like, when it all comes out and people finally react and things like that, then you just get to sit back and eat your cake from all the work that you put in. You know what I mean? So I love that aspect of filmmaking. So yeah, that's one of the things that, I mean, if I were to be able to do that for a profession, right? My dad always said, find something you love to do and find a way to make money at it. Like, that way it doesn't feel like work ever, right?
Never work a
And
day in your life, as they like
if
to
I
say.
was to make pretend for the rest of my life as a profession, I wouldn't feel like I would ever be working again. And I'm fine with that. Like, I love that. So,
well, and just to interject real quick, that was definitely a bummer that I wasn't, scheduled able to really be on set. But I had previous interactions with Miko from the 2 other times, meeting at conventions and being with you when you were pitching the ideas and talking with them further and everything. But I just really was around Dave when we picked him up at the airport, and he was really talking a little more so to Vin. So on Saturday, as we walked over to our dinner plans, and then, like him and I sat next to each other, I finally got to know McCrae.
yeah.
I talked extensively with him about sports and his history and, like media and everything, and, just what his dad did and all these different things. And so getting the chance to finally, like, connect and get more of a feel for him beyond what I had seen on film, and, the little bit that I was on set and got to see him working and interacting with other people, me not wanting to disrupt the process. McCrae really impressed me, man, not just with his professionalism, but with just how down to earth he was. I mean, he's Canadian. I don't know if I've ever met a mean Canadian person, despite the fact that they beat the shit out of each other when they play hockey. But yeah, he was a delight, man. He was really cool.
Agreed. All right, so let me just shout out a few people here in the chat. Of course, we said we got Heavy Metal Beer Club, we've got Evil Alex, we've got Sophia in the chat, we've got Aim Medsum. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but we've got Eric Cartman and Wild Wrangler. Film is art. I agree. We had Tony's Kind of Weird a bit earlier, and Tyshawn Jackson. What's up? What's up? Sorry if you guys aren't still in the chat, but thank you for stopping by. If not. And then, yeah, we got Back to the Retro Review, Neuro Demuz, Greg Harris, Rainbow Monster, and IZ Free in the chat. So cool. Thank you guys for stopping by. Hey, Savannah's in the chat as well.
Nice.
What up, Savannah? Good to see you.
Yay.
All right, cool. So let's dive into the premiere aspect now a little bit more in depth. Guys, again, if you have any questions about anything, just let us know, and we will happily answer. But what up, Eddie D? Good to see you.
Yeah.
So, Sarah, again, let's start with you. So, what were your expectations going into the premiere versus what you walked into the room to see and what you saw on screen? Because you very much like 1 or 2 people here, like Mahallo specifically, you hadn't necessarily seen anything yet, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. And when you guys were on set, like, Josh was there way more than me. I think I think I was there 1 or 2 days, maybe. I didn't even get to work with Ron, which I was sad about.
Right.
Or see Revis or Kevin or anything. So I was only there for maybe 1 to 2 days, so I didn't get to see anything either. Josh got to see everything. I was super jealous about that. But I just know from just being on set, just with starting out with that it was going to be successful because you put together this amazing script with all these amazing people. The cast and crew were fantastic. Everyone was great. I loved the vibe. I just knew it was going to be awesome. So with the expectations walking into Mad Monster, everyone was talking about this movie. Everyone's like, Dylan's New Nightmare. I'm seeing it all over socials. I'm hearing about it. I mean, I'm like, this is going to be amazing. And I felt nervous going in for some reason. I'm thinking, I'm not even the director. Like, Cecil's got to get up there. He's going to do all this talking. And, you know, I would be nervous in that position, but you pulled it off so well.
Thank you.
Super proud of you. You did so good.
I was very, very nervous. I was masking as hard as I could, dude, but I was very, very nervous.
You did great. It was flawless. It was flawless. But I knew going in there it was going to be successful. When I walked in there and I saw how packed it was, I was like, oh my God, this is so awesome. This is like a big deal for everyone, you know, like a celebration. All this hard work that was put into the film is just shining tonight. And it was packed. I was like, wow, this is so great. And watching the movie, I loved it. It was so great. It was not like an indie film. This was like literally like, hey, this is going to be in Harkins on Friday night. Like it was, oh my God, I'm just so impressed and I'm so happy. And I was really excited that Sassy Sledgehammer was there. I was so excited that she showed up. She's so awesome, but it was amazing. And I'm so proud of everyone, literally everyone. And everyone was so awesome. I just loved everyone that was on set, cast and crew both.
I appreciate that, and your part came out great. I felt like so. Thank you very much for your diligence there, because I think it came together so well, and I'm very, very excited to. My biggest takeaway after everything was that if this small premiere, if the reactions from this small premiere are going to be representative of the greater reaction as a whole, then I think we're sitting in a pretty good place.
Definitely.
So, what up, Ghost Pirate Entertainment? How you doing, Kanan?
Yeah.
I stopped by your stream the other day. Hey, man, follow me back on Twitter at HorrorShow666 because I have a question for you about Dylan's New Nightmare, actually. So, follow me back on Twitter so I can send you that question, my guy.
I think I see Movie Mike on there too. Yo,
Movie
yo!
Mike, what up, what up?
Nice.
Good to see you. Greg Harris, after the film premieres to the public, when will the estimated debut for the Blu-ray? We're aiming to ship everything in Q4. So we have to wait until the film is actually done, and there's 1 or 2 things still up in the air regarding it. So we're hoping to start shipping everything in Q4. That's the goal right now. So all right, so let's jump into the room here. Who do I want to pick on first? I know Dave loves talking, but I'll hold off on having Dave talk. Mahallo, since the first question post thing came out was regarding the song, I would like to hear your reaction to the screening as a whole, the Q&A, everything. How did you feel about the Dylan's New Nightmare premiere?
Giddy from sitting in my seat to being, when it was done, walking out of the hotel. It felt like a fever dream, first of all, because I was on set and I got to work stuff, and I slept in the same house, so it was
Sometimes the same bed.
I slept on the couch because I had to be ready to wake up and go get someone from some hotel, so I was always ready, shoes ready, out the door. But I don't even know how to describe it. I felt like it was a fever dream. We sat down, and I don't remember anything else other than when the movie started. And when the movie started, it's the first I'd seen dailies, like when we would stay up late and watch and stuff.
Right.
But I had never seen anything put together. And it's you're watching it being filmed, but it's different because you're working, right?
Well, and you have a speaking role too.
In the very beginning, which is super humbling. I can't even begin.
By the way, he stepped in when someone else wasn't able to make it, and and didn't have much lead time before having to actually shoot, but did a great job.
I think I had just finished dropping off Cindy, and you're like, "Where are you at? Your scene's coming up." I'm like, "Crack, I'm on my way." On my way.
And also the credit in that scene is Sarah's husband too.
Oh yeah,
that's where he got himself a part too. Well, no, I knew he was going to have the speaking role, but he put a little Josh zhuzh into it, which actually spurred Knightley to have a line, because what Josh decided to do was involve Knightley, and Knightley had to react to Josh, and so Knightley got a line. Knightley wasn't due to have a line, but I'm so glad that Knightley got a line. So now he's a speaking actor in a film because Josh went for it,
Josh
and I'm so glad that he did it.
Josh is Josh.
Yeah, Josh is Josh.
Definitely.
I think the most humbling thing was
he's very good at look at me without acting like he's look at me.
It's ginger. It's a
He's a ginger.
Sorry, go ahead, Mahallo.
It's okay. Like my whole life as a musician, I chase the stage. I love being on the stage and performing.
Amen.
So when the very first question asked, could never be in my mind that this would be a possibility, is
I was
about the
surprised
music. I was like, oh my Lanta, shrink.
Specifically, not just about the music, but specifically about that one song.
And I was like, oh my gosh. And it was literally Susie and my wife who were like, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. I was like, okay. Yeah. And I never liked that. When I'm on stage, I wear a mask and I jump around, go crazy. I got a wireless set, but this isn't even a thing. But for me, it was just the most humbling thing. And then to see everybody on stage, I love listening to Dave McRae talk. I love listening to him talk.
Talks for a living for a reason,
yeah,
right?
I know, right? I can't even words speak on it. I am such a novice in this thing. Like I said, I'm a background guy. There's a reason why I do music, so you don't have to see my face. But it was the most humbling, coolest thing I've ever been to. It is easily like top 5 in my lifetime for doing something. That's
great.
It may be sad, it may be awesome.
Well, you had a lot of a weight on your shoulders leading up to it, because I wanted to feature both of your songs in the film. And so and we had trouble trying to find the right people to master your songs. And so ultimately you just were like, I'll just do it. I'll just step up and do it. And I think you did a great job. And like you were open to feedback, like a number of rounds of notes. So thank you for that, because I don't know how annoying that must have been. Probably pretty.
I was wearing a clown mask while I was doing all that. Master Track 235.
Did you put on your dancing monkey suit?
Yeah, right.
Instead of an NDA, Cecil needs you're going to have revision notes.
Yeah. Well, my first round of notes on sound was like 66 notes or something. Yeah,
it's like, I want you to move this a millimeter this way. I want you to raise.
Hey, but look, what was the finishing product? You know what I mean?
And that was probably one of the coolest things, getting lines from Dave McRae and getting to work with his voice in my song.
So people don't necessarily know that yet, but yeah, the second song is. So I will say it was both. It was inspired. In concept, not music, by the Fat Boys song that they had Freddie in the original series. Freddie actually had lines, and it was Robert. And so, actually, the very first song that you guys did for the movie was this song, right? You wrote up this one, Another Nightmare, first.
Another Nightmare started as me reading your script and envisioning where it could go without spoiling stuff, and having a dialogue between Freddie and somebody else who we won't spoil who. So yeah, and it just started out as words, and then this man masterfully composed music around everything, you know. And
then like about a year ago, you had an idea for a mashup, and I was like,
that one took a little more persistence.
Yeah, well, but I was like, yeah, that sounds like a cool idea. If it could work, like I'd for sure listen to that. And then as soon as I heard the first version of it, like Fuego could attest, when you played that first version that I heard, I was really excited about it. I was like, that's really cool. I really think this is going to get a lot of attention, like from the start. And that was the song that was the very first question. It was about that. They were like, did you guys mash up blah, 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 blah? And we're like, Yep, and I think I tried to make sure I credited you guys right then too,
did,
right?
You did. Yeah, I threw some horns up. I was
pointed
seated
in our direction. That's what like stand up. Okay.
But yeah, no, you guys killed the music, and I love that you got that recognition. So no, I'm glad that you know, that's the thing that I love the most about the horror show is the fact that it has offered a lot of opportunities for experiences that people associated with the channel might not have otherwise gotten. And that, like, cool. If that was great for you, fantastic. You know, like, I love that and stuff. So.
And then I don't work with Josh as a musician, but I feel like I got to work with Josh because we both have songs on here.
Yeah.
So it was like when I heard his song.
Nancy and the Nightmares has 2, and Josh has 2 on the vinyl as well.
When I heard his song, I was like, perfect.
Oh.
Right?
Perfect.
It works good, right?
Yeah. Especially with the
You
imagery
guys gotta do
shows.
something together.
Yeah.
You gotta do something
Oh,
together.
there you go. That's actually a good idea.
Collab.
The Wicked One and Nancy and the Nightmares.
I think I was pretty drunk by the end of the premiere. I think I remember approaching him about it, being like, "Bro, your song was awesome. We should do a collab." And he was like, "When you're sober."
You should. You have to. You have to.
Well, and we have shout out to Birdie, Roberta, our very talented vocalist, who brought both of those songs to life with her voice incredibly. And
she came to the premiere too. That was great to see her.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, she was the game changer for us with bringing her on to assist with that, and then she became a full member of our other band, and so it's just been very cool collaborating with her.
So just checking in here on the thing here. So Ghost Pirates, he said, "Cool, didn't realize I wasn't my bad." No, I wasn't trying to shame you about it, but yeah, no, I just wanted to reach out to you about something.
I know him and I follow each other on the Tweeties.
Movie Mike, how nerve-wracking was it to sit and watch the actual audience view the film, not knowing how they would react? I'll answer that, because that was exactly what was going through my head, and it's funny, as soon as it started, I walked to the back. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know if I was going to sit in the reserve row with everyone else, or what, but I just decided to walk to the back. I think, I'll tell you why I wanted to walk to the back. I wanted to smoke. I wanted to vape, and because I was so fucking nervous, I needed to calm down. So I walked to the back so I could be like, and Miko came with me. Like after like 30 seconds, Miko joined me like right at the back. And so for like the first 10 minutes of the movie, we were there, but people like got up a couple of times, and we were like, oh, well, you know, we figured we'd lose some of the audience. But they just went to pee and came back. Like, there's only like 2 people that actually left the screening at some point. Everyone else just went to pee and came back. And like, so everyone was involved. And watching it with Miko was really, like, it was nerve-wracking at first, but it was really cool because he was getting into it. He also had 2 doubles right before the screening because he was very nervous because he was like, oh my god, my face is the basis of this thing, you know, it kind of rests on me, and so he was very nervous.
He hasn't acted in a long time.
But he and I watched, and we were like just kind of whispering back and forth, and like there's a long scene that is character driven, that brings people up to speed, that tells the story, and it was dead quiet through the whole thing. And it's a longer scene, and Miko's like, they're still quiet. They are totally engaged with this right now. I was like, yeah, like I think I wrote a script that was engaging enough to do so, but it was great to see that in motion. Because there's also another scene that's a little talk heavy right after that, and everyone was still fucking quiet through the whole thing. Like there was no one looking at their phone, there was no one because they're bored. Everyone was keyed into the screen and what was going on. So like Miko was really encouraged through the whole thing, and it was it just ended up being such a great viewing experience for me, you know, being in this weird unique position of it all technically having come from my brain and only happening because I approached this guy who I knew could do it, you know, and I'm just so glad. Like, I'm just excited about everyone seeing it because I was right about Miko, I was right about Dave McRae. And those are the 2 best decisions that were made about this film, was approaching Miko to bring back his character because he absolutely kills it even after 20 years of not acting.
Oh, yeah.
And then having Dave be our Freddy, because if the reaction to the premiere is any indication, he legitimately proves that someone else can be Freddy. You know, so anyway, I know that's a big tangent from me, but these are big takeaways from the night for me.
Yeah, and I just
it was your big night.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah.
It was your prom.
Yeah.
All right?
It kind of was, yeah.
You were the princess of the prom.
I was the prom queen that night. I'll
yes.
take it.
There you go.
We didn't get him a tiara. Sorry. But he had a pretty dress.
We still need to hear from Jason and Dave, and I know Fuego chimed in a bit for Mahallo, but if you have further.
I mean, all that I would double down with is, like, as it was about to start, I'm talking to our friend Monty Yazzie. Shout out to him. He's the organizer of the International Horror and Sci-Fi Film Festival, works with the Phoenix Film Festival, and him and I were chatting as everything was about to begin. And he's like, hey, let's go up front. Where do you want to sit? And I'm like, let's sit in the back. And so we had kind of the same idea as you, because Monty hadn't seen anything, but I'd seen, a few cuts of this. And so I felt like I had a pretty good general vibe of it. And we wanted to observe as well. And I had pretty much the exact same reaction. I saw how locked in everybody was, and it was really impressive, and it just made me so happy for you, dude, because I know how long you've slaved away on this. We've just been working on a couple songs for a number of years, but I mean the magnitude of all the things that you had to get lined up for not just this to actually go down to film, but to get through the editing process and everything else. And the Q&A, man, just seeing McCrae encouraging Miko. Miko was getting emotional, talking, I mean, like borderline to like fighting back tears at one point and saying, I hadn't done this in 20 years and I didn't know how all of you were going to react. And, Dave was in full garb and full Freddy mode, and audience was eating it up. Is that going to be loaded separate, or is that just going to be on like the Blu-ray or DVD?
It'll be on the Blu-ray and DVD, but
Nice.
it will be on the channel eventually. Yeah,
Nice.
I'll put the Q&A up there eventually.
Yeah.
That whole thing. I mean, if you guys didn't see, I'll show you right now. Let me pull up that intro from Dave McCrae.
Oh, you have it?
I do.
Let's turn it up, man.
Quick.
Oh, it was perfect, man. Perfect way for him to address everybody.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
And he just nails the laugh every time.
Oh my god, yeah.
Hang on. All right. Bear with us just a second here, Sarah. We're gonna pull up and play this real quick.
I'll just say my piece because it's pretty short. I walked in, and I was happy to see that there weren't empty rows, and there weren't more than one or two seats that were empty in between in each row. So like, it felt like we had nearly a maximum capacity audience, and that threw me for a loop because I was very nervous that only like 50 or 100 people might show up because it was practically midnight that we were showing it. But I walked up to Miko, and we both kind of like looked at each other, and he goes, that's a lot of people, and I'm like, there's room for more. So there was standing in the back. I think that's, again, there's still some social distancing going on. So I feel like we could have, if we would have made everybody sit down, we would have filled up the entire.
Oh, probably so.
thing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I mean.
Well, you worked on it for a long time too.
Yeah.
I mean, how did you feel seeing it come to final fruition and stuff in front of an audience?
Well, I will say that there were things that we were nervous about before the screening, that once the screening started, like all those nerves went away.
The sound was actually fantastic.
The sound was really good.
For a convention screening, the sound was fucking awesome.
We were worried about darkness, and because the projector was already dark, it was even darker.
Yep, it's overcorrected by a bit, but
in a way,
but it still played well.
That's my positive optimism about it, is that in a way, the people who saw it in the theater, once they get to watch it on YouTube or on their DVD,
they'll see even more.
It's like they get to see it for the first time.
Yeah, agreed.
So, and nobody said anything. Nobody said it was too dark, even though we were all like, it
was too dark. Yeah, we like three of us were like, it was darker than we wanted it to be. But
and like you said, with like a couple people getting up, like I haven't heard any negative feedback.
Not a single
one. I also
one.
haven't heard like legitly good criticisms, because I think, like I said, the overall,
the reviews have been like, I don't have, like, more than one has said, I don't have any notes. Like, they were like, it just was really well done.
So I was one of those people that got up and went to the bathroom during one of the scenes.
You son
had
of a
been
bitch.
drinking.
It was a 28-minute movie, and everyone
I
started
whispered to the person
drinking.
next to me,
So.
he's going to puke.
Yeah.
But I went to the bathroom, and it was a full bathroom. And obviously, guys stand in line for stalls because guys just don't use stalls next to each other. It's how it works. And everybody's talking about it in the bathroom. Everybody's talking about the movie, and they're talking about Dave McRae. They're talking about Miko. They're talking about, and they're going back in. So it's not like they went to the bathroom and then left.
Right.
They were trying to pee as fast as they could so they can go back and catch the rest of the movie. It was really, really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Jason, how about for you?
Yeah, so it is one of those things where, you work behind the scenes and you kind of see, the film being filmed, but...
The sausage being made.
Exactly. But, you get there and just be able to be around everybody reacting to it. You mentioned the other night on the stream with McRae about the guy with the crazy spiked hair that was like blue and no teeth or whatever.
Yeah.
I was sitting right next to that guy.
He's a nice dude, actually.
Yeah, no, he really was. But yeah, dude, as soon as your song came on, he was like, "No way!"
Really?
Yeah. Like, he had a really big reaction to that, which was really cool. And yeah, I'd seen kind of some early cuts of it, but yeah, the sound, that was the kind of thing that was really new for this, and it really wasn't a great sound system. And like all the people being hush hush, I mean, I was one of them. Like I was, I knew what was going to happen, but I'm still like dialed in. So yeah, it was really cool, and I kind of came in early because that's just the way I am. So I sat in the second row, and by one point I was like, I should probably take a picture. So then I got up, and that's when I saw like, holy crap, there really are a lot of people here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just really impressed, and I mean, just a lot of gibbering afterwards in the halls, and
a lot of good stuff,
Yeah.
man. I mean, there was way more people that wanted to do. Like at one point, the Q&A was going on for like 40 minutes, and I was like, look, if there's only like one or two people that want to do the photo op, we'll just do more of the Q&A for a bit. And so I actually asked, I was like, who here was planning to do the photo op? And like 20 fucking hands went up, and I was like, holy shit, okay, all right, well, we'll wrap it up in a minute here. And like all of them came and did the photo op and paid for the photo op like it was any other. But it was a good photo op. It had Miko, Ron, Dave as Freddy, and Vince as Jason, Ghost Jason from Never Hike Alone. So it was a great time and great event as far as that goes. But did we hit yours?
Well, I touched on it earlier.
Okay, all right. So let's see what we got real quick. Scaredycast says, "Wish we could have stayed to see it." Yes, Scaredycast. I shouted at you guys in the hallway at one point. I was like, "What up, Scaredycast?" But yeah, I wish you guys could have seen it too. But everyone will get to see it very soon.
You were going to show that.
Yeah, you're going to show
Oh
Dave,
yeah, the intro.
Dave
Right,
addressing
thank you.
the audience.
Let's do that. I've got it pulled up here.
Actually,
so.
why am I even saying Dave? Because that was Freddie addressing the
yeah,
audience.
it was.
Indeed. All right, so here we go.
Mad Monster, Arizona. You were all my children now.
So yeah, that was our introduction before the actual showing. So, did we lose Sarah?
Did a timeout?
Oh no!
I'm here.
Oh, there she is. There you go.
Sorry about that.
No worries. Just wanted to make sure it like squished you for a second. I was like, oh no.
No, I'm here. I'm here.
All right, cool. So let me get rid of that. All right, so get rid of that. There we go. Now we're back on the right window.
So what you think, chat?
Check the comments. Yeah, I brought my 9-year-old who tapped out after being there all day. Hopefully we'll catch it at the Gathering of the Ghouls, though. Yep, that's the plan. We will have it there as well. And we're actually going to not only debut that, but assuming that Josh can get all the interviews that he needs and everything, we're going to be debuting the behind-the-scenes feature as well, which Robert and I actually got to see a tiny snippet of that Josh sent over a couple days back.
It was cool.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
I like it.
I'm excited to see the whole thing. So,
Yes.
yeah, it's I'm pumped about that. Let's see, play Dave's intro. Yeah, so there you go. Just did that. That's amazing. Unreal. Dave could literally do the job, says Ryan S. Exactly. Jackie Earl Haley, your heart out. Yep. Mike, agreed. Jake is cray. I saw earlier. Y'all remember Freddie saying, "Welcome to Marvel, bitch"? Yeah, of course. We have There's some lines not far off of that and stuff like that. So, now as far as the Q&A goes, I mean that was a lot of fun for me because I did the whole MCing and stuff like that. So, do you guys have any thoughts on the Q&A specifically, or the photo op, or anything along those lines?
People ask good questions.
Yeah, actually, we had really good interactions
I think
from
people
the
got
audience.
a lot better at asking questions. They don't ask like the question that makes the whole audience be like, "You're wasting everyone's time."
Exactly. Yes.
Well, I thought the nice thing is the questions were emblematic of them keyed into the story, as well as certain aspects of the film. They liked certain things, so they had, like, if they liked the makeup, they had a question about the makeup. If they liked the song, they had a question about the song. If they liked the story, they had a question about the story. If they liked Miko's performance, they had a question about Miko's performance.
And that's where I think you could tell these were serious Nightmare fans that were in attendance, and that's why they were so locked in, because I think they would have been pretty judgmental if they weren't locked in and if they were disappointed, because you could tell there were a lot of pretty dying.
It was a Robert fan club.
Yeah, I mean,
that weekend.
Robert was the main guest, so I mean, it makes sense.
Totally.
Like, I don't think we could have premiered in front of a better audience than
Damn
that.
right,
You
man.
know, we might be a bit slanted from that point, but I still think it's pretty good.
But if that's the crowd you win over, then that's all that matters.
That's true. That's true, because they're also going to be the harshest.
They're the diehards.
You know, it doesn't look like the makeup of a lot of the fan films for Freddy on YouTube, you know, which does not look very good in certain instances. Certain instances they do an okay job, but nothing looks like what we did, you know, what Nora and Mikey Rotella put together, you know what I mean? It's crazy. So what about for you, Sarah? What did you have any extra thoughts about the screening or the Q&A or anything like that?
I loved the Q&A. It was very interactive. Like, the audience had lots of questions. I know Miko was so excited to be up there, and I know I could tell he was a little nervous too, but he did really well. Dave was so awesome in his costume and makeup. I was so excited. Nora, love Nora. So happy to see her. Ben, of course, so excited to see him always. I loved the Q&A. It went on for a while. I was like, wow, these people are super into this movie. Like, this is not like a fan film. Like, this is like a legit nightmare film. It's crazy. Like, I'm just so amazed at how full it was. People, you know, jumping, like, oh my God, jump scare, or, you know, or they're like, it was just so awesome. I loved it. I was so excited for the turnout.
I've also been to a lot of Q&As where, even for big names, people don't know what the hell to ask, you know, and it's either bad questions or lack of them. When you wrap things up, there were still a number of people I noticed that had their hands up still, didn't get to ask their question. One guy in particular with a mohawk halfway down on my right, I watched him the whole time. He was
That might have been Davey Deathray who
he had something he really wanted to ask.
He ended up doing a review and was really
Davey's
awesome.
in the chat.
Oh, oh shit! I didn't even realize that. Yeah, no, Davey Deathray did an awesome review after to launch his YouTube channel. Essentially, it was his first YouTube video. So, shout out to Davey Deathray if you guys want to go support a new content creator. Davey Deathray in the chat. DNN was a blast. Loved Dave's iteration of Freddy. He kept him menacing, but still had a lot of fun without taking it too far. Such a well-measured performance. And Miko knocked it out of the park. That's great. Thank you very much, Davey. That's awesome.
I was going to say, like, snapshot that or screen capture.
Yeah, I know. Well, I just put together, actually. So, Davey, I just put together a video I'm going to be putting out on Tuesday where it's a lot of the early review quotes and stuff. And I took one or two quotes from your review to put in there, so I hope that's okay with you. But yeah, Edward Nieto puts in a $10 super chat. Thank you, Edward. Greatly appreciate that support.
I think that's one of Dave's followers.
Might be.
I recognize that name from Dave's streams.
Well, Edward says, Cecil, I'm glad I was able to make it to AZ. The best horror theater experience for me was the 2003 Texas Chainsaw remake. It was a full theater and the crowd was engaged. DNN echoed that very experience. Cheers. Wow, that's huge, Edward. Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
High praise, man.
Thank you very much for that comment, Edward. That's awesome. Yeah, and shout out Davey Deathray. Okay, I added you on Twitter, bro. Sweet. All right. I mean, I'll tell you. I'll tell you in the chat. But I was hoping that maybe you might be interested in in a link for DNN at some point when we release it for review for a couple of people. All right, so let's continue on here. Who else has some thoughts about the Q&A or the photo op or anything along those lines? Guys, if you have any questions, shoot them in the chat and we'll answer them as best we can. But this was just kind of a brief debrief of how Mad Monster went. So I don't want to miss anything.
Real quick, I want to do a shout out to Deandra and Jason for saving our bacon on that photo op.
Yes.
Because the camera guy ended up not being there, and thankfully they had a camera and came in clutch.
Yeah, Deandra Kruger, or AKA Sassy Sledgehammer.
Yeah.
She and her film partner came out and covered most of Friday. Actually, basically all of Friday, as well as the event, and they had their camera gear, and the main photo op person was no longer there by the time our photo op rolled around at like 12:45, and so they willingly stepped in to take the pictures for everyone. We're still going through, but that was the photo op picture that I showed you earlier. That's what it ended up looking like, and it's all thanks to them stepping up and helping out. So big shout out to them.
She also had that really funny TikTok with you and Miko that she made.
Yeah. Deandra's great at TikTok. She did a real fun bit from Wes Craven's New Nightmare in TikTok form, and she had a really great cosplay. It was a cosplay that apparently she hadn't worn in 10 years. But it's the Heather looking for her son in Wes Craven's New Nightmare cosplay. So I got a really great picture. I think I have that picture.
She asked me if he had seen her son.
Yeah.
They did the whole bit. He did the John Saxon.
I'll pull. Oh, you know what? Let me just pull up.
I didn't get it. Now I get it.
Yeah.
Let me just pull up Deandra's TikTok real quick.
It's just the quick audio scene kind of from the movie.
So let's see.
It's a really bad.
Look at all the TikToks.
Because it's a really bad. Did you say it's a bad thumbnail?
Yeah.
How dare you?
He likes his chin pose.
Oh, she took her photo op and made it her profile pic real quick. All right, so let's go back just a bit. Scroll down to Mad Monster. There it is, right there. All right, so let me add it to the thing here, and I'll show you guys Deandra's TikTok. Oh wait, I already have desktop. All right, cool. So here we go. This is it.
Where's my son? Where is he? Have you seen my son?
Take it easy, relax. He's right there.
Oh wait, it's too low. Hang on, let me turn it up.
Oh damn.
All right, one more time.
Where's my son? Where is he? Have you seen my son?
Easy, take it easy, relax. He's right there.
Oh, God. Where's my son?
So yeah, Deandra's fun, man. Deandra's
Very
a
poorly
really cool
shot
chick.
by yours truly there. So,
and her film partner Jason was awesome too. So
love her.
Right, I got that right.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
I hope I got that right, Jason. Fuck, I'm so sorry if I didn't.
I know, indeed. No, they're awesome people, and so shout out to them for covering it. They have a bunch of coverage that they're going to put out. They're just holding off until I give them the go ahead.
Nice.
So it's we're very, very excited. Wild Wrangler, Cecil, you are blessed. I agree. I feel like I'm blessed with all these amazing people involved in the project as well. Like I got very, very lucky that everyone that is involved is involved. So yeah, Ghost Pirate says just hit me up. Okay, cool. So he's down to do the review. Excellent. Nightmare on Elm Street. I'll be 40 in 2024. Oh, I'm jealous, Wild Wrangler. You're a little ahead of me, or a little behind me, I should say. David Ethray, appreciate you guys for the shout out, and yes, please feel free to include my quotes and snag clips from the review if you'd like. Awesome, thank you. Ryan S. What is Dave McCrae like away from his channel? Is he anything like he is on his channel? I'm just amazed to see and hear his transformation.
No, he's a total dick. And he would love that I'm telling you that.
Yeah.
He's like, I wish people would stop.
What a
nice.
schmuck!
No, I mean,
No.
he's the same as he is on his
Very
channel.
sweet.
It's just turned
Yeah.
down a little bit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
He's not performing all the time.
Yeah,
so
as
he's
he
not
said
like
to me-
big and loud and hey, you know.
Yeah,
you know.
as he said
but
during
he's
the
still
dinner
Dave,
conversation
you know?
to me, he was like, "It's all about the shtick, you know.
Yeah.
It's the shtick when there is a performance aspect to when I'm hosting
Yeah.
the show. You know?
Yeah,
So
of
it makes
course.
sense."
So yeah, no, he's awesome though. He's not
And
he's not a dick for sure.
He likes to have a good conversation. So like, you know, he's
He likes
used
to
to talking online, but he's also really good in person, engaging
Yep.
conversation. So because he and I hung out for like an hour while everybody was outside.
Oh yeah.
So we got to talking just like we did on set, like, late at night. Yeah, you know, and we're talking about the theories, and we're talking about his projects, and so Dave is really fun to be around.
Yeah, Dave's a solid dude for sure.
But he's still a dick.
Yeah, he's awesome. So did you get to hang out with anyone cool at Mad Monster, whether it's part of DNN or not, Sarah, while you guys were there? I thought I saw some pictures of you guys with David Howard Thornton, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, we were so excited to see David again. He's so sweet. We went to the Mad Monster burlesque show together, and then we did our photo op with him, and Josh got to hold him like a baby.
Oh, I
And
did
he's
see
like-
that.
Yeah, he's so light, and I was like, oh my god, it's so cute. And then we showed him the photo later, and he was so excited, and I could tell he was just beat the next day. He's like, I am so tired. I was like, I know, you had a really long line.
It was like endless.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but we got to hang out with him. Our friends, I'm sure you know Carrie and Ronnie McGuire.
Oh yeah.
Renewed their vows with Bill Moseley as Odin.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, they did outside. It was by the pool. It was Saturday night, I believe. It was like after 8. It was 8 or 8:30. People just started going out to the pool. Bill was out there, and then Richard Brake made an appearance.
That's
I was like,
awesome.
that's so cool, guys. It was lots of fun. Damien came out. David came out. We all just hung out. It was a blast. And then I got to meet Ron finally. I was like, Ron Sloan. We have been Facebook friends forever, and I'm so sad I didn't get to see you on set. And he's like, we'll see each other at Mad Monster. And he was just so genuine and kind, and his wife was so nice. And and going back to like your setup, like the whole table, it was just amazing. It was just glorious, like nightmare glorious, just everywhere. Like Miko's over there with his stuff, Dave's over there. Love Dave too. I just like, we got to see so many people, and it's like that one time of year. It's like, okay, it's Mad Monster. We're going to see all of our horror family. So excited, and we got to hang out, and it was great. It was great seeing you guys and David and just everybody. It was so much fun.
I'm glad you had as good a time as we all seem to have as well.
And it's
So
those rare opportunities, like Sarah just said, because we've had our late night just odd occurrences, whether it was Kane Hodder and Damien when we were in Carolina, or the one that we affectionately remember with Lance Henriksen. I mean, that's the thing. If you're hanging late after these events in the after hours, who knows who you could end up rubbing elbows with. So that's one of the great things about Mad Monster.
Yes,
Indeed.
Definitely.
Security Cast says your guys' booth was really cool. Yeah, we had quite a long table. Yeah, we had Ron Sloan, then Vince with his Never Hike Alone Blu-rays, then Miko with all of his awesome shots from the movies, and then Dave with the Freddy stuff, and then we had a little slice of table for Nora, in case anyone wanted to talk to Nora, and then we had the horror show booth with our tchotchkes from the show and everything.
Extensive entourage.
All the stuff you see behind you.
Yeah, all this stuff back there, exactly. So yeah, I mean, it just was an all-around awesome experience. Guys, we're winding down on our side of things here. So if you guys have questions, throw them in the chat. Otherwise, we'll start to wind down here. I see a question here from Kevin Dustin. Shout out to Kevin Dustin. Is there something that Miko or Dave did in their roles that surprised you? Yes, I will say there's one thing in specific for both, and one of them is the first image that we released of Freddy. That shot of Freddy as he's like turned and laughing. It was the first thing that we released. Here, I'll pull it up here. This is what I called the goblin shot.
Goblin.
Because I felt like it made it look like Freddy was a goblin. So hang on, let me find the right. There we go.
I mean, it is the entity, right? So it's still one of my favorite lines without spoiling in the whole movie.
Yeah. So it's uploading. Give it just a second here, and it'll pop up. I hope, unless it's
allegedly
gonna be hung up. There it is. So yeah, the goblin shot right there. That was a complete accident. I mean, not an accident, but that was not planned. That was not in the blocking. That's just something that Dave did in the moment, and it's one of the couple moments that when it happened, I like quietly cheered where I went, like I was so excited to see it. And there was one other moment that Dave did that you were actually standing behind me and you grabbed my shoulders and squeezed because it was like, oh my God, that's so good what we just got. So this goblin shot was a big one for me for Freddy. It was so good that everyone insisted we make that our first image that we released, in spite of the fact that I felt like originally we should save it, but everyone's like, no, lead with your big lead with your big dick, you know what I mean? So there's that one, and then there's something that Miko did that Miko was able to pull off towards the end of the film that definitely surprised and delighted me, because it was something I asked him about the first day of shooting, and he's like, oh, well, we'll see what happens when we get to the day, and we'll see if we can pull that off or not. And then he ended up nailing it, and it's one of the things that was commented on a couple of times in the Q&A, because it just showed Miko's acting talent, you know what I mean?
His range, man.
So yeah, I mean, those were two things that definitely surprised me about the stuff. Any particular thing surprised you guys, or you, Sarah?
So Dave McRae as Freddy, it's just crazy because you hear all these people say there's no other Freddy. There's no one else. Like, Robert Englund is a god. I'm not gonna deny that, but Dave McRae was just like so perfect. He just pulled it off so well, and he's so quick to jump into character, and he can stay in it. So it was just shocking, because it's just like, there's a lot of good actors out there, but then there's like the really good ones, and he's definitely really good. And he just couldn't get out of character. It was so great. I'm like, he's Freddy. He's literally Freddy. I wanted Robert Englund to be there so bad, so he could see that. Like, oh my God, like, this is crazy. There's another me. But it's like, oh my God, he was just so perfect. And Nora's makeup, her skills were chef's kiss.
Nora's a badass, and again, shout out to her wife Rachel for coming out and helping out and everything. Rachel's awesome. So nice to meet her.
Power couple.
Yep.
Power couple, absolutely.
Seriously.
Yeah, they are kicking ass and taking names.
Yeah, Rachel's a sweetheart as well. So
yeah, so sweet.
And something Sarah said,
Nighttime's in the chat. What's up, Nighttime?
And something Sarah said I can piggyback on that Dave mentioned in the Q&A is he's like, I wasn't trying to replicate Robert's performance. I was trying to replicate Freddy Krueger, and so it shows the respect and the reverence he has for.
Well, while honoring the characters, though, that was the biggest thing that Dave was talking about. It's like, well, bringing true, being true to the characters that Wes and Robert developed.
It's like his words allowed the audience to accept the fact that yes, Robert is this character, but it doesn't mean someone can't be just as good or better.
Right.
And he proved that. He didn't really even need to say it. The audience accepted it and were saying it in droves.
The audience was saying it for us.
Yeah, it was hit the humbleness on that.
Because there will always be Kurt, but Kurt's pretty good too.
Yeah. Well, because that's the thing too. It's like, obviously, like, no one else has ever played Freddy. It's always been Robert. It's not like but I'm talking about for the main ones and shit. It's not like he did a couple movies and then like one actor came in and Robert came back, blah blah. Right. So that's I think also that harder distinction where people are like they can't separate. But I definitely think I I think we changed some minds. I definitely think we did.
I think so. And again, those were the diehard Freddy fans that were in there. Those weren't just people who had seen, the first Elm Street or the new remakes. These were people who knew the mashup songs off the back of their heads, which they've seen at least 3 or 4 different Freddy Krueger's movies. These people who waited till 11:30 at night to see this movie and then stuck around for the AMA and everything else. If you win over these hardcore fanboys, it's only a matter of time before other people see this and they're like, "Dear Lord,
we
what
did."
have we walked into?"
There was one, like you mentioned earlier, with the mohawk and everything like that.
Yeah, he was like, he said, he came up afterwards and he was like, "I'm a Robert only Freddy guy," but that was pretty good.
Yeah,
I was like,
see?
Sweet, right on, I'll take it.
And if you can just get them to accept it, then the rest of the movie is gold.
I like to think so. Right on. So Kevin Dustin says, "I want the no one but Robert peeps to see David so they can shut up." Yeah. I think a lot of people are going to shut up after seeing him in the role because it's he really does kill it. He really does a really great job.
I was one of those people until I got to see him because I got to help like Nora at the end when we were doing stuff, and to see him walk out, and I was like, man. When I first met him, I was like, God, this guy's going to be Freddy, okay. And then when he was in makeup, I was like, oh, this is Freddy right here. And it was a pleasure to stay up every night to talk to him. It was probably my favorite time. So
he that's the thing. Like, even he says, he's like, when I finally had the face on for the first time, I saw the look you were going for, and he's like, and it shifted what I was going to be trying to do. He's like, because I saw you were going for like the part 2 more scary Freddy, which is my preferred Freddy. So he's like, I was very excited to see that so I could lean into what I wanted to lean into and stuff like that. And so yeah, all that information is really, really cool. And he said that he's got a bunch of pictures that he took of himself first looking at the makeup and stuff like that he wants to go through once the movie comes out and stuff like that. So,
and he said on another channel stream, but we won't mention who, but he said that he was filming himself doing all kinds of Freddy-isms, like talking, and so that'll end up online somewhere eventually.
Yeah, exactly.
Just trying out different lines and stuff. So,
how did you feel? Because you didn't get to see him when you were there to shoot, Sarah. How did you feel getting to see Dave as Freddy at the event?
It was fantastic. It was amazing. Like I would see these photos and I know Nora is just amazing at what she does. So actually seeing him in person was literally killer. He was just so perfect. And I know he was already good at being Freddy without being in costume. But as soon as he was in it, I was like, wow, he's just so copy paste. He's just so perfect. He's so perfect. So it was an honor to see him as Freddy and to hear him and just be there with him in person, and watching Nora work her magic and her wife as well was just like mind blowing. I loved it. I'm so honored that you put me and Josh in this movie with all of you guys. You guys are just so freaking awesome, and I just feel so blessed.
Well, I'm glad that you guys came to play. You both did a great job, and Josh continues to do work for the behind the scenes things, so I'm very excited for him to get the interviews we're hoping to do and stuff like that. So I'm very excited about that project, especially after seeing what he sent over and everything. So Heavy Metal Beer Club says the acting and the look of the movie was outstanding. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
It was great. It was great seeing you guys that weekend. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
damn right.
I'm sorry, like we didn't get to hang out and everything and do all the stuff we wanted to do that weekend. Holy crap, it was a busy weekend. But we will definitely get together and shoot an episode.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Damn
Yes.
right.
All right. Well, I don't see any more questions in the chat, and we've been going for about an hour, 40 minutes. Well, maybe a little less after the technical difficulties, so about an hour and a half. But thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you to everyone that is supporting Dylan's New Nightmare and us as a channel as a result. Thank you to Sarah for joining us, and thank you to all of these gentlemen for coming and hanging out.
Get your name in the movie.
Yes, there is still time. So if you want to, the link is should be in the description box, where you can donate up until about mid-August and still get your name in the film. We are trying to have everything wrapped up by then. We'll see how one particular thing goes, but yeah, if you want your name in the film, you can still get it there, even though we've shown it one time. So The link is in the description box for the Dylan's New Nightmare Finishing Funds campaign. We're going to be dropping some new perks relatively soon to try and goose a little bit of activity. So keep your eyes out. And yeah, I think, we got another question here that just popped up. So,
for the road.
Kevin Dustin, yeah, do you see a scenario where Dave could actually take on the role and succeed Robert? I think if that's all that came out of all of this, that would still be pretty incredible for the project, you know? If we did a good enough job setting Dave up to, you know, be the next Freddy, then that's great. I would hope that I'd be able to still have some maybe input story-wise. If people liked him, then hopefully that means they like the writing and stuff like that. So hopefully we could still keep ourselves and everyone involved in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, if Dave became the new Freddy as off the back of this, that's still pretty incredible. Like, I still go to my grave knowing that I influenced, you know, making sure that the new Freddy was a good Freddy and stuff like that. Like, that's cool for me. I appreciate that. Heavy Metal Beer Club says, for sure Robert will plan something with you guys soon. Was a busy, super fun Mad Monster. Scaredycast says, hell yeah. Shout out to Scaredycast if you guys want to listen to some horror podcasts and see some fun material. I know they shot some stuff at Mad Monster. So yeah, go check out their channel as well. We were supposed to do a crossover episode with you guys once upon a time, but it didn't end up working out for that Sunday, so maybe we should still try and do that at some point if you guys want to. So yeah, thank you guys very much for joining us. Thank you to all of our patrons for supporting the channel. Now we've got 30 people watching as we're about to sign off, but yeah, guys, look out for Dylan's New Nightmare very soon. I'm aiming for the end of August, and then we have a little bit of material coming ahead of time, including if we can dial it in as soon as we're hoping, maybe as early as next Sunday, that we can release a music video for you guys pretty soon as well. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled on the channel for all of that good stuff. I don't know exactly what's going to happen regarding our coverage, though, because obviously you guys know we normally do trailer reactions and we do reviews of brand new movies, but you know, the strike is now happening, and I do aspire to join the WGA and the Writers Guilds to be able to write movies. So if I do coverage right now on the channel, then technically I could be viewed as a scab if I ever tried to apply for a job. And they're like, oh, well, you were doing coverage when we were striking, so yeah, that counts against you. So I don't know exactly what we're going to do as far as all that goes. Ideally, we put up our review of Talk to Me, the new A24 horror movie that's been getting so much buzz that I'm incredibly excited for. Like, I'm so excited about it, but I don't know if we could release a review about it. I don't know if we can do any trailer reactions because technically everyone's striking and we're advertising struck products. You know what I mean? So I don't know exactly what we're going to be able to do as far as that goes, but yeah, so stay tuned nonetheless. A lot of Dylan's New Nightmare material is coming down the pipe, and I am excited to share it all with you. So thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you again to all of our patrons. I've been Cecil Laird.
Robert Wolfman.
I'm Mahallo.
Gracias, Jaime. Fuego.
Jason Greer.
Produce Dave.
And thank you again to Sarah for joining us. Sarah, is there anywhere that people can go to follow you and Josh, or any? Do you have anything coming up you'd like to plug?
Plug it.
Yeah, so on Instagram, the wicked one is Josh. We also have Grave Dirt Clothing, which is our online store. Morehouse Films, our production company. Me, Jessica Stabbit Official _66. And then on Facebook, you can follow me, Jessica Stabbit, Morehouse Films, Grave Dirt Clothing, and Josh Schultz. And on Twitter, you can follow me at Jessica Stabbit. We have the BTS coming up for Dylan's New Nightmare, which Josh has been working on very late nights, lots of coffee. And then we have a film that Eric Lawson, he is a director in California and a podcaster. He handed us his script for a movie, and we're actually speaking to a very How would I word this? An actor who's riding the horror wave right now, who's possibly going to be in the movie. I don't want to give any spoilers or anything out yet until it's like set in stone. So we have that going on. And then with my Scout Taylor Compton photo shoot I did a few years back, we do have a little book in the works for that. So
cool.
That's what we have going on right now.
Awesome.
Nice.
So make sure you go follow
Loads of
them at
stuff.
those socials as well. So thank you guys, everyone, for watching. And until next time, remember, stay scared.